on to the batting and your own performance, what are your reflections on the great effort by the bowlers in the field?
Oh, look, I think too often the bowlers probably don't get the credit that they deserve, and today they were outstanding. I think we were in a similar position last game and probably let England slip away to 250, whereas today to put the foot on the throat and to keep them under 200, I thought was, slightly below par. But the great thing was everyone chipped in. I thought Hannah Rowe was excellent up top. Obviously Jess Kerr coming back in through the middle. The spinners did a great job as well. I'm a bit wary though of Susie Bates thinking that she's going to be golden arm now, so we'll have to keep her in check. But just a fantastic all-round team performance, and I guess it probably validates the work that we're doing behind the scenes, and knowing that when we get things right, we're going to be a good, a hard team to beat.
6 bowlers used today, didn't include yourself. Leah was on the sidelines, Rocco wasn't available. So is it really pleasing just to see the depth that you're building in those bowling stops?
Oh, massively, and I think that's probably something that a lot of people don't see, the work that goes on behind the scenes, and I guess that's what's been happening probably the last 18, 24 months as we've been trying to build that bowling depth, and to have so many options now. Obviously we brought Eden Carson in for another spin bowling option there today, and then as you say, I thought Rosemary Mair's probably been our bowler of the series. Obviously unfortunate to lose her to injury, but the fact now that we've got players that can come in and perform, it puts us in a really good position in terms of putting pressure on each player, but also knowing that once you're there, that you can really do a job, especially being able to perform the way we have against a really strong England team.
Also some really inventive field placings today, a little bit different to what we've seen during the series. So again, I guess is that just a case of recognising what the English batters are doing and also good work behind the scenes?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of everything, isn't it? I think obviously conditions play a big part of it as well. We I guess reflected on the previous game here and what was hard to do. We thought obviously hitting down the ground was something that was tough, and we saw both teams have their drives up for the majority of the game, and then it was just a case of being really patient. I spoke out there that you can't set those fields if the bowlers don't execute, and stay on the stumps, and that's what they did really well today. So to be able to manipulate the field, even when England got a couple of partnerships there, I thought it was great from the team just to be able to really stick at it and not let the game sort of, I guess, drift away. So really pleasing from my end in terms of a captaincy point of view, and knowing that bowlers were coming in, they were really clear with what they wanted to do and I guess how we're going to get wickets. So yeah, a great all-round team effort with the ball.
Susie and Georgia were out relatively cheaply, so when you came out, what sort of things were you immediately discussing, given that it wasn't under par total by England, but still there was a lot of work to do?
Oh, we knew that we had plenty of time, and that was probably the basis of our partnership, as we knew that England are going to bowl good balls. If we keep them out and then keep the score ticking over, we were going to go close. I guess once we started to shift momentum back our way, we probably looked at trying to finish the game with 5-6 overs in hand, and making sure that we didn't leave any of the other batters to have to do the job. So for me, that was what's really pleasing. Obviously Mealy was great there in laying a platform with her, and then the way Maddie batted, I think for me, just really proud of, she'd be the first to admit that she's had a tough series, and to come out with the intent that she had to use her feet and put the ball away is something that hopefully gives her a lot of confidence, but also, the rest of the group knowing that it doesn't matter, we're going to back you in, no matter, whether you scored 0 or 100, it's that sort of confidence which I think is really important to this group.
You've had your own personal injury issues throughout the series, so how good was it for you out there today? How good did you feel in a fantastic knock?
Oh, I think, probably been chomping at the bit to get out there and just help the team, I guess, and wanting to lead from the front. So I guess when I got the opportunity today, I wanted to really knuckle down and I guess, I just wanted to lead from the front is probably all I wanted to say. I think I've seen how hard these girls have worked the past couple of weeks on this series, and although results haven't gone our way, the work that's been going on behind the scenes, I think, is starting to show that we're trending in the right direction. Obviously, we've still got a lot of work to do to stay in touch with the Australias, the Englands, the Indias, but winning games of cricket like that, I think, shows that, that was I'd say, a comprehensive win for us against a top quality side. So just a really pleasing, proud performance today.
Apart from the established players such as yourself, people like Izzy Gay's also coming through during the series, so that must be pleasing just to see those youngsters really starting to step up.
We've spoken about it as a group as sometimes we've got to have a bit of perspective. Izzy and Fran are 19 years old, and we're chucking them into some pretty tough situations. Even Georgia Plummer, she's 20 and we've chucked her into opening the batting with Bernie out. So sometimes we've got to have a bit of perspective that what we're asking them to do is bloody tough and they're not going to succeed every single time. And I think that's where the confidence and belief comes, is we're sticking with them and knowing that they've got the skills, because we see how hard they work behind the scenes day in, day out, and hopefully they can get belief from that. And as you mentioned, Izzy's been fantastic with the bat. I thought she's shown a lot of innovation and she's back to her strengths, which is what we speak a lot about. So for the fact that, you know, she was able to get her first 50 and knocks like that, but even the likes of Brooke Halliday, Hannah Rowe today, I thought was outstanding with the ball. We think, you know, everyone's going to have to stand up at different stages, and it's going to make us a much better team moving forward, especially when you get to World Cups, because you're going to have to use your full 14, 15 players to win those sort of tournaments.
Finally, for me, as you allude to, a big year ahead, bit of a break, but then obviously over to England, some games against Australia, and then of course the pinnacle event. So how do you feel you're tracking?
Oh, look, I think there's been some really positive movement forward from this group. I think when you look back to Pakistan, even at the sort of the start of the summer and where we're moving to, I think, you know, there's some really positive signs there. We've got a bit of a break now, but there's going to be plenty of bloody hard work coming up in the next sort of 6 to 8 weeks before we get over to England, and we're under no illusions that it's going to be hard, gritty work, and that's what we're going to have to do. So we're looking forward to that. We're a bit scared about it, but I guess that's sort of where you do the hard work and you get the rewards away from the limelight a little bit. So we're really looking forward to that phase for us, and then getting over to England again for another 8 games against a quality team in their conditions, and then, as you mentioned, Aussie in their conditions, then off to Bangladesh. So, you know, it doesn't get much harder than facing the top 3 teams before leading into, you know, a pinnacle event like that. Cheers.
Raf, over to you.
Hi Sophie, brilliant innings from you today. It's great to watch, even though it's the middle of the night here. So you're 88 not out with 12 required for the win. What's going through your head?
I hope you don't mind, I'm just going to face down the camera if that's all good, but it definitely wasn't to go with 2 sixes. I just wanted to get the job done and be really ruthless with that. And then Nat Sivabrunt started to chirp me and said, you know, you've got 2 shots, 2 balls, have a crack, sort of thing. So, I mean, if someone eggs me on, yeah, I've got a bit of a rubber arm. So, yeah, look, the way it went, just happy to finish the game with some overs to spare.
And how important is this in the context of the ICC Championship? Because you're obviously now up into 4th place, up from 5th. So are you kind of keeping tracks on that? How important is that for you?
Oh, it's absolutely part of our planning and moving ahead. We know that we've got a pretty tough run home with obviously England, and then we've got Australia and India to finish the IWC competition phase of it before the World Cup next year. And yeah, again, we know that we've got to win a couple of those games to, I guess, guarantee our spot there. And it's not going to be easy, but wins like that at home are really important. And we'll just keep fighting every game. We just want to stay in the battle and, you know, just keep working hard, and hopefully we can snare enough points to get through to the World Cup.
Great, thanks, Sophie.
Thanks, Raf.
And Neha, over to you.
Hi Sophie, congratulations on the win and a great century today. My question to you is, it's been a long season, right, for the White Ferns, playing Sri Lanka, Pakistan and England now. So what are some of your major learnings and takeaways from this season?
Yeah, it's a great question. I just think the growth from this team, I think we're starting to move in the right direction in terms of how we want to play. I think we've seen, you know, I think the way Bernie and Suze have led from the front, I think through the 2020s, the power play has been outstanding. I think we've laid a platform, and it's just figuring out how we go through the middle phase. We've obviously seen probably a bit of both. We've seen when we've been successful, but also when we haven't. So I think that's just going to take time just to figure out our roles in that and how we play and how we fit into that space, particularly in T20 cricket. And I think with the ball, it's been great. We've seen different people step up and filling different roles, but also sticking to their strengths. I think that's what's been hugely important to us, is we don't want to ask the bowler to go and do something that's, you know, not in their wheelhouse. So for me, it's been a bit of a learning for that, and knowing, I guess, always keeping an eye on pinnacle events. So you sort of always want to keep fine-tuning and keep thinking about what's going to be successful in those sort of conditions.
Right, and even looking at the cricketing schedule now, there's a significant gap, right, between like the next time you play would be versus England in that away series. So what will be the prep and the mindset, you know, in this off-season?
Yeah, I spoke about it just before. We've got a couple of weeks off, and then we get stuck into some pretty hard work with camps, and then we're heading over to England nice and early to give us a bit of build-up time. But yeah, we're going to be absolutely flogged, if I'm being honest, and that's what it takes. You get these windows of opportunity, and for us, it's about learning and growing our game. We've identified a number of areas, both with bat and ball and in the field, that we're going to have to improve reasonably, a fair amount to keep up with these top sides and to play the style that we want to. So there's got to be a lot of balls being hit, a lot of balls being bowled, and just doing that dirty hard work sort of in the pits of Lincoln and Mount Maunganui. So really looking forward to getting stuck in and working hard with this group.